and do something where we didn't talk about lockdowns and viruses and all of that, but that's almost impossible to not talk about it at this point, isn't it? There's some other stuff I'm going to get into in a little bit, but let's go ahead and just recognize the big sick elephant in the room and talk about this COVID-19 and everything that's going on. Oddly enough, my life really hasn't, as far as day-to-day life, really hasn't changed that much. Those of you that have been around the channel for a while, you know I do own my own business, but I've had to dial that back a few months ago, and I still have it, but it's more of a part-time thing. Then I have a part-time job as a delivery driver, and I deliver food. At least where I live right now, that's one of the few things still going. We're not on complete lockdown or anything, but we do, I think the state directive now is no gatherings of more than 10 people. They're asking people to only get out if you absolutely have to. All our grocery stores are still open. All the restaurants have their dining rooms closed, but we still have food delivery, and you can get carry out if a restaurant offers it. And where I work, we actually shut our dining room down on the 16th. Now we went in the 16th, and of course it's a corporate place, unfortunately. But it was a corporate decision. We went in Monday morning, and we usually do a lunch buffet, and they said don't do the buffet. Well, at 1 o'clock that afternoon, we only had a couple of people come in and dine in. Like about 1 o'clock that afternoon, they said, okay, go ahead and shut down the dining room completely. And I think it was 2 days later, the state directive came, said, no, just shut down your, every restaurant has, it was maybe a little later than that. The state directive came to every restaurant has to shut down their dining room. But I still, delivery, as far as delivering the food, there's maybe been a little bit of an uptick because I mostly work during the day. There's been a little bit of an uptick on deliveries, not a huge one. It's kind of like, you ever have one of those dreams where everything was kind of normal, but then there was that one thing, like you had a dream that you were at home and your house looked the same, but there was a door where there isn't normally a door, or a window that's normally there is gone, or the house looks a little different. It's kind of like that. Typically went in every morning, and we took on a normal day we would deliver pizzas to the schools, to the junior high and the high school. So there was that was usually the first thing I got ready for when I got there, was to deliver the school pizzas. Hadn't been doing that. We had no buffet, so no preparation for the buffet. Now no dine-in at all. So that means we're not washing any dishes, we're not washing any silverware, we're not even making tea, because 99.9% of our tea sales were for dine-in. And so a lot of times in store, we'll just find ourselves just standing there going, well, now what? Because we have all of these things that no longer have to be done. So I'll fold a few boxes. We still have a few things to wash. I'll go back and run a load through the dishwasher, and of course it's not just sticking that. We have one of those dishwashers. A lot of people mistake it for a magic box. They think you can just pile as much crap into one of those carts as you can. You got to wash the things out, and sometimes you got to scrub stuff off the side. But the way it is now, we don't have to get in too big of a hurry to worry about the dishes, and there's a few other things to do, but like I said, we're not nearly as busy as we were, even though I'm still getting the same amount of hours, luckily. It's still just kind of weird, and like I say, driving around town, it's just kind of, it's like every day is Sunday. There's a lot of places that look like they're closed, not quite as many people out and about, and of course you drive by other restaurants, they have a little bar in town called The Rack, and driving by it on Saturday, I think they just went ahead and completely shut down. And driving on a Saturday, driving through the downtown area by the bar, which is normally has a lot of people, a lot of cars there, and nobody's there. All of the restaurants, the parking lots are empty except for, employees and maybe somebody there to pick up food. But I think the strangest thing about it, at least here on YouTube, is the fact that it's something we're all dealing with. I mean, this is a global thing. Normally, something happens, like the fires in Australia. It's like, keep the people of Australia in your prayers, and our YouTube friends that are in Australia, we keep in contact with them. But this is something that's affecting all of us. It maybe not to the same extent. I know in Michigan they've gone into lockdown. I think New York, it's obviously a lot different. I think half the cases in the United States are in New York. But it doesn't matter where it is. If you're in Ireland, United Kingdom, United States, Australia, it doesn't matter. We're all going through this same thing. And so it's actually kind of odd. There are a lot of times when I talk about something, after the fact, I'll think, well, I kind of talked about that from an American perspective, or from a Texas perspective, or from a male perspective, or whatever. It's just kind of weird to talk about something like this, and no matter where you're from, you can relate. And of course, all the idiots that are going out and hoarding all the stuff. How much toilet paper do you need? I can understand when this first broke. Okay, people freaked out. It's still, I go into Walmart now, or any grocery store. Family Dollar, Dollar General, local grocery store here, all the toilet paper is gone. And I live in a rural area. Okay, there's been enough toilet paper sold in this county to last every man, woman, and child for 6 months. But on that note, just real quick, Amazon. I have my problems with Amazon that I'm not going to go into here, but kudos to them. Good for them. When all this first started, and you had these, and believe me, starting my own business and trying to sell stuff online, and after getting into dipping my toe into the community of people that sold online, there's a lot of jackasses out there. A lot of scummy people selling stuff online. Even when we're not in a situation like this. As a matter of fact, Goodwill, I've had a lot of people talk, I've seen where a lot of people talk about how, Goodwill used to be a place you go and get something cheap if you couldn't afford new stuff. And now Goodwill's prices are up. You know why that is? Because of these jerks that go there at the crack of dawn. As soon as they open, they'll buy up all that stuff and they'll turn around and sell it on eBay at 100 times profit. Goodwill used to be a place where people who were financially strained could go and get stuff, and now it just became a breeding ground, a picking ground for people selling stuff on eBay. Those kind of people. But Amazon, they when this all first started, they just said, okay, you cannot sell stuff like toilet paper and hand sanitizer online. And there's that story of the guy that bought like cases and cases and cases of hand sanitizer that he was going to try and sell on Amazon at inflated prices, and he got stuck with them now. He got no way to sell. I don't know if eBay has followed up with that policy or not. They probably have. Good for the online retailers that they're not letting people do that and take advantage of the situation. I guess I just want to say I hope everybody's staying safe. I hope everybody is where they want to be, or at least where they need to be. And repeat all the things. Wash your hands. Don't go out if you don't have to. Like I said, as I'm making this today, I will say that I'm making this a couple of days ahead of time, so maybe some things have come out since I made it. I'm not going out today. I'm going to get out and mow the yard. I'm not going to leave my property. I got plenty of food here, and I'm on a nap. after I get done with this and watch some YouTube. But just to spend a second talking about something other than COVID-19 and the situation around it, I did want to at least touch on what I was originally going to make this about, and then figured out I really didn't have a whole lot to say anyway. But as far as the state of the channel goes, I've brought up before that the ghost hunting videos were. This applies to ghost hunting in abandoned location. Really running out of places to go around here because of my work schedule and everything. I don't know. It's a little tougher to find time to get out, and so you may see fewer, if any at all, of those kind of videos coming up. You may just see fewer of those kind of videos eventually. But I have been putting a lot of thought into the channel lately, and one thing I have expanded on, last week I posted or uploaded the first, in case you missed it. Oddly enough, went through a lot of head scratching and trouble to try and come up with a great name for that. I didn't really want to use in case you missed it because it's such a common thing, but after some thought, I said it's just a good title. So ironically, it's an expansion of YouTube suggestions, and ironically, YouTube suggestions was a title I just pulled out of my backside. But that's kind of what I want to use as, I don't know if a staple is right, but I wanted to do something to help promote other channels. And like I say, YouTube suggestions is something that was organic and that people seemed to like it. I did one. I had no idea I was going to do 20. But YouTube doesn't do much to promote small channels anymore, if anything. So if I can help steer 2 or 3 people to somebody's channel or to somebody's video, I figure that's a positive. That's 2 or 3 people that you didn't have before. And of course, I know that other people do shout outs and other people do that same kind of thing. Pusa Studios does a lot to help small channels. But as far as I know, nobody really does anything like YouTube suggestions. And I just wanted to expand on that because, like I say, I did a channel that was in, let's just say, YouTube suggestions 12. Well, I wanted to be more than, okay, I talked about your channel once. Maybe somebody, after a while, after it's been up for a few months, maybe somebody else will come across it. This way I can kind of continue that and say, okay, let's redirect you back to this channel. Remember this channel here? They're still around if you hadn't heard about them. And that's kind of what I was hoping to do with the video rate at the end of YouTube suggestions. But after doing a couple, I said, this just doesn't seem like enough. And then plus it's only one of the previously featured channels per YouTube suggestions. YouTube suggestions takes a long time to put together too. It takes a lot of work. So hopefully all of that will do everybody some good. I guess that's it. This was kind of a last minute, like I said, I wanted to talk more about my thoughts on this channel and where I was going with this channel, and I just figured out that there wasn't a whole lot to say, so a lot of this was just kind of pulled out of my backside as we went along. But I do hope you enjoyed the ride, and if you are new here, first of all, please subscribe. And if you haven't seen it, do check out, in case you missed it, in the last YouTube suggestions, I've got a playlist for YouTube suggestions if you want to check out other small channels. And before we close it out, I thought I would go ahead and give you a look at where I work. This little video clip, just a quick little something I shot on my phone. This was at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on is it Tuesday or Wednesday? I can't remember which, and this is just how empty and dead things looked in our restaurant at 3 o'clock in the afternoon in the middle of this COVID-19 business. All right, well, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.
In your mind, what will this cost us? What's the tag for taxpayers? Well, I don't know. As I say, we priced out an average $1.3 billion. afford to borrow money. Right now, the average cost would be 30 or 40 basis points, that's all. That's a very tiny price to pay to invest in demand.